Hello there. We're going to be looking at some Rebel unit listings today,
Hmm.
and we're going to be ranking them in terms of how good we think they are, how bad we think they are, kind of based off of our experience in the local meta. So today we've kind of got our local Rebel players here. I primarily play Rebels, although I do dabble into Shadow Collective sometimes. And Patrick, I say you play Rebels, you kind of play everything at this point, but
But Rebels is my go-to. Sorry, I'm losing my voice at the moment. But Rebels is my go-to when sort of it's tournament time or I really want to lock in on a game. I think Rebels and Empire are the two that gel the most for me.
yeah, no, definitely, and I've always had a soft spot for all of like the characters and like the cool kind of scrappy sort of theme of the rebels. You have all the best stories of them, and it's always fun when you get to go up against the Empire, but against clones and droids, they also have like their own tools to go against them. So don't worry, to save your voice, Patrick, I will try and I'll try and do the majority of the talking on this one. But yeah, so we have you've got the ranking
Yeah, yeah,
webpage up?
that's all here.
Perfect. Okay, so I've got the same thing here. Um, and yeah, so I guess if we just start in the top left,
Yeah.
are you seeing 1.4 FD cannons as well
Oh,
in the top, or is it randomized for you?
tell you what, let me.
Okay, I'm glad I checked because it's different on mine. so,
Yeah.
so yeah, so if we start in the top left then on your screen, we've got the Rebel Troopers, bread and butter of
Hmm.
the rebellion. Um, I definitely think they are uh, probably the staple core unit, other than maybe fleet troopers. I don't know if they're that great. They're kind of just solid. They're pretty resilient when you want them to be, and you can kit them out with some good weaponry. The Ion Blaster, my personal favorite, the SX-21. I think it's way cost effective. I don't know. I maybe put them at a high B for now.
This is it. I
Just
mean,
there's nothing really to go off of, is there?
this is it. I think, honestly, I think these are the Rebel Troopers are like my favourite unit. I think in Rebels, which is going to be wild. Um, but I think out of the
It's
four main
hard not to like them.
factions, they're the most cost-effective and just straight-up effective core
Yeah.
slot. They're your basic, the basic bread and butter. Double moving
They're
to
cheap
get
and
two
cheerful. They
dodges.
do. Yeah, exactly. They do all the right things to try and stay alive whilst having to roll white dice. Like that's probably they're slightly more efficient than B1 battle droids, but they're not quite as good as clones
This is
or
it.
stormtroopers in some instances.
They're always in my
So
list, but
yeah,
I'm
yeah, never
never
leaving them
like
without them.
I'm never like, oh, watch out if I was you. I'm running Rebel Troopers. Um,
Yeah, yeah. Um, okay. Uh, do we want to go with the other core then? Because there's only two other options, well, three other options, I suppose. So we've got the fleet troopers.
yes.
Um,
No, I used to run these
I mean,
guys religiously before
yeah.
a certain update.
Mhm. Mhm.
And now I think everyone, before they were good, and I would take a unit
Yeah.
when I could fit them.
Mhm.
Like fleet troopers on their own, with the extra guy, the scattergun. To be fair, instead of the extra guy, I used to take the officer upgrade to give them the extra
Okay.
bravery.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I hear that. I hear that. I mean, what are they? They're 40 points, so they're the same cost as a rebel trooper,
Hmm.
and their damage output is probably higher because they are rolling twice as many dice and they surge to hit. But they don't have that extra defensive tech.
This is it. I would say if you're spending points on them,
Mm.
I think you can get a better fleet trooper unit than a rebel trooper unit. But For
Yeah,
pure, just out of the box, basic squad, I think a rebel trooper unit, hands down. Like, you need the shotgun in the fleet trooper unit.
yeah, I hear that. I think I'm leaning towards them being in B tier, but after Rebel Troopers, because they're not bad. You're not paying any more for taking them, and if you're running them like for like, they can be like a good backliner if you need someone to stay back and maybe ambush a unit that's pushing up.
Yeah,
Um, if you run them with a shotgun, it's nice. Like, there's plenty of ways you can bolt them out in the same way that you can do the troopers. The troopers just want to move on to the objective, and oh no, I get dodge tokens and I keep them. Like, I find the troopers are more useful because they are range free with the dodges, but the fleet troopers are still a valid option. Like, I would look at them and go, okay, I can run either. Just it just depends on what I need them to do. I don't know if you agree on that one. I think 100% the troopers are the rebel troopers are above, but basic fleet troopers
this
a
I
solid
think
B,
they,
I'd say.
I think they're a solid unit. I mean,
Yeah.
there's definitely a way of making them a better unit now.
No, definitely. I mean, if we if we segue into that better unit, the Cassian fleet unit is this is the only other unit on here. Yeah, put it there. Just put it there. This is the only other unit on here that I've specifically put a variant of on into the list because Cassian fleets is like a whole nother level. It plays differently. You can obviously only run one of them, but it is. I mean, I've run into it an awful lot. I've run it myself a few times now. It's just solid. Like, you can't really go wrong with it. Out of all of the unique characters they've come out with, Cassian is definitely at the top, if in my opinion, just because he kind of fixes the problems that you have with the fleet troopers in that they die off really quickly, and then when they actually reach the opponent, you're like throwing like 6 dice and they're not that great. Whereas Cassian just keeps that efficiency up until you kill him, and for the rest of the game, it kind of makes your opponent think, okay, do I shoot him and make him flip his token, or is there a way I can get suppression on him and not make him lose a mini? You either deal with the problem or you leave it, and it's neither of those options feel particularly great. But as the one that's running the unit, it's great. Plus, seeing that massive squad of fleet troopers with Cassian on the table is really cool. So that's an extra bonus from me. But I think S tier.
Yeah, I think
You
it
need
used
to-
to be because, as I say, I used to run the fleet troopers quite a lot, and it used to be you ran them up, hoped you killed something worth their points because they were dying next turn. Whereas now, so actually, it's one. I think it's a great example of when using the squad upgrade is viable. I think a lot of the time it can feel like a trap. It's almost a go-to every single time with Cass. And adding that level of survivability, getting that second turn of shooting out of them,
Yeah.
just heightens that unit. I mean, I feel like we've stopped seeing certain battle forces because you can't run Cass. It's like, oh, well, I might run Echo Base with the new Han and Luke tools, which we'll get to later. But it means I can't run fleets with Cass, so
Yeah.
I'm not going to.
Yeah.
He just is a auto take almost, I would say.
He's just a powerhouse. Like recent tournament that we went to, my last game was against another rebel player. He played fantastically, and he was also running a Cassian fleet unit. And you just feel like you're on the back foot constantly because you don't have that same level of firepower, and you have to defeat the whole unit, or if you're lucky, you get him down to just Cassian and you remove the Pierce from the pool, and then you're like, okay, well, it's still going to hit hard, but it's not going to be anywhere near as potent. But yeah, you definitely, if you're not running him, you're kind of giving yourself a bit of a disadvantage. So it is kind of an auto take at this point. Hopefully we'll see some other characters that really make you think about whether you're going to run him or not. But yeah, I think in fleets he's fantastic. The other core units that we have. So next up we have Rebel Veterans in here somewhere. They might be down. They're on the left there, bottom row. Just above sleepers. Yeah, there we go. So Veterans. Oh, I don't know how I feel about them. My gut says possibly D tier, which is a bit hypocritical given that I ran them for a tournament.
I think that tells us all we need.
Outside of the Hoth Battle Force, I don't think that they are good. They are worse. They're a worse variant of Shore Troopers because they don't have long shot. Sure, low profile's nice, but I don't really mind if you're shooting them. You're not shooting something that's, more impactful. It's just, I mean, the one thing that's good for them is their heavy weapon. The heavy weapon is fairly cheap for what it is. 4 white dice, critical 2, a range 4, means that you have quite a good gun line. But when you actually need to go and get on an objective, they are too slow. Just a speed 1 unit is really painful at the moment. So I think I would put the Rebel Veterans themselves in the D tier. Maybe that'll change at some point in the future.
No, I agree. I mean, it's such a contested slot, and they just pale in comparison to the offensiveness of a fleet trooper or the defensiveness of a rebel trooper.
They're trying to find that middle ground, which is I appreciate it. The surge to hit's really nice, low profile is nice, but it's if they didn't have access to the heavy, they'd be lower than D for me. They are just they're all right. The counterpart to this is the Mark II blaster, which I'm going to argue C tier. I think it's better than the Veterans, just because the number of times your opponent will shoot at it, it will survive, and it's still throwing as many dice as it was before. It has crit 2. The changes to cumbersome make it all right now, pretty good, but it still has the drawbacks of Veterans, but the bigger base means it can get to an objective. So
also 4 wounds, right?
4 wounds, absolutely. Courage 2. I think that's the one thing I would change on Veterans. If they could have Courage 2, that would probably make it worthwhile taking them. And you could sprinkle in a unit here or there, and they would be really good. I think that's why the Mark II blaster is better, in my opinion, because it just survives a little bit longer. It stays a bit more efficient, and it's fairly cheap for what it does. But you do pay for that points difference in the Veterans, so that is what it is. What's next? We've got Ewok Skirmishers. I've never used these guys. Have you?
So I've used them and played against them.
Okay.
They are fine. I don't think you would. Well, I was going to say I don't think you'd ever add them to a list on their own, but that you 100% could. Why you would be an interesting question. But
because they're melee only, right? They've only got the spears, is that right?
Yeah, you're melee only.
Yeah.
I don't even think they can take. Yeah, it's just the axe and the trapper that you can take on both
melee.
squads.
So pretty much just melee focused.
This is
for the same cost as any other core unit, almost, apart from obviously Veterans.
And you can't
order them as easily.
Yeah. In a Bright Tree army, 100% love them, but they only work in numbers, in my opinion.
Okay.
So what I mean by that is you taking the squad, taking the upgrades, but you're also taking 4-5 squads of them.
Yeah, and just having the numbers pretty much just to pile in. Yeah,
because once you hit that point, it doesn't matter how sort of naff they are, because you've got all of that sort of staying power to just swarm units.
Yeah,
And
no, that's fair.
Vader can't kill all of us. So just feeding Vader a unit of Ewoks and feeling great about the fact that Vader's going to spend 2, maybe 3 turns eating his way through Ewoks, or having to spend a force push on a unit of Ewoks.
Yeah,
It
I
just
suppose they're quite efficient for that, aren't they?
they're,
Really?
they're a tar pit. And the trouble with a
Yeah.
tar pit is you need a big enough tar pit.
Yeah.
I think there's an argument to be made. I mean, they're low profile and unhindered innately.
Yeah.
So taking a squad of them in a normal rebel squad, a normal rebel army, sorry, to camp on an objective and sort of if someone comes near it, sort of be that defensive bubble. Sure. But I just think rebel troopers do it better. And I think the reason these guys exist and where they do their best work is in that battle army
Just in the battle force.
with their
Yeah.
special characters getting all the backup they need. That's the same for them, and it's the same for the skirmishers, ranged unit.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
I'd say so. The slingers. I'd say in terms of Ewoks, I would be looking a C tier for the skirmishers. Purely if we're allowing for the consideration of in Brightree. And then similarly to no, even do you know what? I've convinced myself. I think they're both D tier units.
Okay.
I
Okay.
I just I think
I'm.
if you have to play around them,
Yeah.
then I just don't feel maybe I could be persuaded on slingers.
I think the slingers. I think you might be being a little too harsh on them. They're only little guys. They're only. I think they fill a different role, don't they? They're cheaper than the skirmishers. They have a ranged attack, which is nice. They pretty much do the same thing, but they are a filler for the special forces slot. So rebels, we've got plenty of options for filler core units, which are like native rebel units. The slingers, whilst they're not going to be changing your life, the fact that they cost half the amount of any of our other, I mean, less so now, the commandos are more viable, but they are one of the cheapest special forces slot that we have. You could just take them, it's 6 bodies, they run onto the field, low profile, hard to kill, unless you've got the right tech for it. I don't know, maybe C, maybe B? I think from a purely like, okay, I need to pad out my special forces slot, because I'm taking other stuff that wants to wait before it activates.
Okay.
I think that's kind of where I'm going for C or B. I'd say keep it in C though for now, just because I think commandos are having a bit of a resurgence due to the changes in strike teams. So I don't know if we want to move on to the commandos next. Maybe we've done all of our core. So
This is it. I mean, how are you finding the new commandos?
I like them. I like the changes to the saboteur, make them really efficient for what they do. Obviously, the changes as well for the strike teams is really nice. It's nice to have a unit that isn't just sleeper cell wanting to take that slot, and they're costed quite well in comparison. I obviously wish that they had more offensive output, and they didn't need to get quite as close to trigger the assault. But I don't know. I'm not disappointed by paying the 50 odd points that it is for the saboteur squad. It's just quite potent at range 1. Really nasty dice pool. And also the blast, not the blast 6, sorry, the impact 6 on the saboteur means that your opponent has to do something about it unless if they're running lots of vehicles, and they can't be too gung ho about running up because all of a second, if there's a land speeder driving by and they're too close to the commandos, it ignores cover, blast 6. You don't care about the armor at all. Um, I would say B, possibly.
Honestly,
I'm going to say high B. I'm going to say high B.
I
I
think
think they're quite good.
I think where we're at now with them, I think a solid B is the right play.
Yeah, yeah, that's fair. I wouldn't. Only if you were running triple strike teams would I run 3 of them. But I think there's a place for at least one squad in an army. It cuts down on the cost of the other special forces and allows you to put it kind of fills the same role as the Ewok slingers, but is a little bit more potent. And I think that's why I prefer them over them. I think the strike teams as well. The changes to them is really nice. How are you finding the strike teams? Do you think
Do you know what?
worth it?
Rebel strike teams, I'm pretty sure the onlys I haven't run yet.
Okay.
But in terms of strike teams as a whole, I am. My opinion changes on them each day of the week, I think.
So you've run the Empire ones, right?
Yeah, the Empire, which are very similar to the Commandos.
Yeah. What do you think about the strike teams for the Empire? Because I guess they're probably the most similar.
Yeah. I think where I'm at with strike teams are you either take 1 or you take 3.
Okay.
I think having 1 as a way of padding out your support slots and as a back, sitting at the back, doing a plink shot, getting that crit wound through, getting that double suppression through is great. Or taking 3 and leaning into it as a thing you're trying to achieve.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think the only reason I would be taking 2 is if I've built my list, I've gone, do you know what? I've got about 40 points left. Do I add in another rebel squad? What am I adding in here? And going, actually, I've already got 2 commandos. Let's add the second strike team in. But I'm not adding a second commando squad for the second strike team squad.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's fair. I think they are probably. I don't know. I'm in the same boat. I think that I've already run 2 at most. I don't think that 3 is the right call in Rebels. Maybe there's a list where you really want the extra activations, but I think that I'd rather have a sleeper cell or something with a bit of punch for that 3rd slot. There is a world where you run like a triple support list and you want to pad out those activations so you know exactly when you're going with them, and then maybe you do run triple snipers. I think they're pretty good. They're very kind of hit and miss. Like the sniper team keyword's really nice now that you can get red and black dice instead of black and white. And the auto wound again really nice, especially with some of the new like Mandalorian stuff that's coming out. Maybe taking an auto wound off of Paz might be really impactful. But I don't know. Maybe B, possibly A. Just because if you are running commandos, they are an easy auto take afterwards because they are only 40 points. They're very cheap, and they do a good job. They are risk reward though, and that's why I kind of think the Rebel ones are pretty good because they are low point of entry. Like you're paying relatively inexpensive or buying a relatively inexpensive unit in order to take the strike team. So for sub 100 points, you're getting a really good range 1 unit with blast and impact 6, and you're getting a strike team unit that range 5 can do wounds across the board. I think they're solid. I would say B, possibly A, depending on what else ends up in the A tier. But what else do we have in the Special Forces slot? We have
Wookiees.
Yeah. We've got 2 variants of Wookiees.
Have you ever taken the shooty Wookiees in Rebels?
No.
No.
No. I think that it's more viable now that they're all the same cost. However, I would always prefer to take the melee ones because the problem with a lot of Rebel stuff is it all wants to get to range 2. So yeah, I think D and C probably because again, like they're not bad,
No,
but they're not. They're still waiting for that update that makes
their
them
their
really
competition in
punchy.
that slot is
Yeah, there's stuff in there. You look at Wookiees and you go, why am I taking this over Sleeper Cell? Um, I definitely think the ranged Wookiees are less taken. I don't think they're not as good, but I just think that anything else really would supersede them. Um, I can see you lining up the Mandalorians as well.
for me. I think they're similar. I
Yeah,
think much in the same way. I'm rarely ever taking shooting Wookiees, and I
yeah,
might take a unit of melee.
yeah,
I'm so rarely taking a squad of Mandalorian resistance. I think, but Clan Ren, I think there's options for them. I mean, you ran them against me a couple of days ago.
yeah, a couple of days ago, and I think we kind of discussed it then. They are very much jack of all trades, master of nothing. Like they're really good at capturing points if you want them to because they're quite fast, but they don't have much health. If we're talking Clan Ren specifically, obviously, if you're taking them, you're probably taking Sabine, so you're getting the real value out of them. Outside of that, you're probably not taking them. But they have loads of different tools. They've got Dauntless, they've got Long Shot, they've got Suppressive, Lethal 1. The Retinue is really nice. The Jump's really nice. They surge to defend and to hit. I don't think they're bad. I think you only take them if you're running Sabine or you're running a very specific list. And I think the same thing really applies to the Mandalorian Resistance. They are, because there's only 4 minis in the squad, they're quite easy to hide. And because they move speed free and have jump, they are quite tough to get rid of. So they're really good for playing the objective. It's just the cost of them.
The
It's moved in the right direction.
the thing for me
I
that
think that's.
makes Clan Ren maybe a tier above
Hmm.
is not only do they have that interaction with Sabine, they're also 2 wounds.
Yeah,
Whereas normal
yeah,
resistance being 1 wound feels rough when you lose one.
it does. It does, especially with the strike teams. But I think that comes down to playing them. Um, I think you have to pick and choose the moments in which you attack with them, or you put them in somewhere that they're visible. If you end up on the wrong board where there's no real line of sight blocking terrain, then it's really rough. But if you do have some buildings you can hide behind, they get really annoying for your opponent, especially if you've got the best guard duelist.
Yeah.
I do agree with you. I think the 2 health is really nice. There is a world as well where you put Ursa and Tristan onto 2 different Mandalorian resistance squads, and it bumps them up, each of them up a little bit of health. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I think you're right. Maybe Clan Ren I would put as B. Personally, I think
Yeah.
because they are good when you run the right unit with them. Resistance C.
Yeah.
Although I would put them above Wookiees because I do
Ooh, okay.
think I would run them above, well, Wookiees and Slingers really. Well, actually no, tell a lie. Keep them where they are. I think your Slingers you're taking because they're cheap. Mandalorian Resistance I would run more frequently than Wookiee Warriors, just because they are they look epic on the table and they are a little bit more annoying once you get that duelist. Um, I think after that we have, so we've done. Da-da-da-da-da. I mean, saving the best till last. Sleeper Cell.
Just
I
good
don't know
without
if they're.
upgrades. Good with upgrades. Just it's hard
I
not to
think
bring them.
strong A tier. I
Yeah.
think they are. They're not the be all and end all they used to be.
No.
Um, but you look at them and you can't go wrong for the points. You're like, well, 77 points. Okay, I'll take that. There's other stuff in here that costs more and does less. So
I
um,
I think for me the holdback for them is they much in the same way that fleet troopers used to be. you can. They're so easy for your opponent to focus and kill. And once you lose half the squad, potency's gone.
I mean, you say that, but 3 sleeper cell members are still throwing more damage out than an entire rebel trooper unit,
True. I
and
just mean that
that's
this
the
is
thing
what's
that I think
stopping them
makes.
from perfect.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, if they had a Cassian upgrade,
Yeah.
I don't think people would play us anymore. So I think the level of potency is perfectly fair on them. I think they are an A tier unit. I don't think they are S. But when I look at special forces and I go, well, what am I taking? Do I need a strike team? Okay, I'll sub out a sleeper cell. And I think you run at least 2, possibly 3 if you want to, but 2 allows you to then take another unit to put on the table first and then go with them later. But yeah, I think they are definitely the strongest special forces that we have. And speaking of things that work with special forces, I see Sabine's lined up there at the front. Sabine, I don't know how I feel. Maybe a low B, maybe a C at this point in time.
Okay.
Just because, again, falls into that same trope of not really being the master of anything. With the bigger squad sizes, her command cards have gotten less potent, especially explosions, where you're only throwing 2 dice out per squad. It's a nice attack pool, don't get me wrong. But do you really mind? If she had Sharpshooter 1, I think that would probably make her about where I'd want her to be. In that, she's a little bit like Han. She wants to do 2 pistol attacks, but at the moment she's not really got that much to get them through other than Surge Crit. Maybe I'm just being a bit greedy with it, but
No,
I think that's kind of where I would position her, as like a low B.
I think it makes sense for her to be in the same
terrible.
slot as Clan Ren. They're coming
Yeah,
together a package deal.
yeah. And like Sabine with the Darksaber's nice. Getting the Dauntless and immune melee pierce is okay, and she throws out an all right amount of dice for melee, but not blowing me away. Obviously, she does pair with Ahsoka. I've never run this pair though, just because I look at the command card and I'm like, it's a nice ability, but it's a little bit like some of the other character combos where it's like, like Luke and Leia and Chewie and Leia, that sort of thing, where they're nice thematic cards, but I probably would run something else. But in the newer kind of objective style since 2.6, where every turn you're scoring, it is nice to have the ability to move off of a command card. I like Ahsoka. How many points is she? She's
She's 115.
With deflect. Her lightsaber's okay. Her courage is okay, or courage is good. She's not 5 health, which is nice. I don't know, maybe a high B. I think I like her. I think she's a great character. It always sucks when you use the Guardian and you end up taking wounds, but Guardian might be less powerful now since the changes. But I don't know. What are your thoughts on Ahsoka? Have you run her much?
I've ran her a little bit, and I have not given her, I think, the board time she deserves. But that's partly because I, as I'm sure we'll find out as we go on, I'm not a big runner of characters. I really like I think it comes from 40k, where I used to play 40k and it was all about squads of stuff with some characters, whereas Rebels very much lives and dies on its characters.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's fair.
I would put Ahsoka into the band of, I think she's a great unit once you learn how to play her. And I have not taken the time to learn how to play her.
Okay.
I think on paper, I think she's got all the rules I'd want. She's got a decent enough weapon, courage 3, which, admittedly, she's a operative. So we're not getting that bravery bubble going on. But I think Jakai Mastery is really interesting. The Defend one, I just feel like my gut wants to put her in A, but
Yeah,
I don't know her. I don't know whether that's wishful thinking.
I'll tell you what, I would put her in A. I was trying to be reserved because
No.
I think a lot of people will agree that she's not. She's not the be all and end all, but she's a lot of fun to play. Like, she's not that expensive. It's kind of like having an Op Luke, but a little bit more of a scalpel. If you can use her right, she's brilliant. Her command cards, especially the Guardian one, like, is less good now. Um, but there are some command cards that she brings that are really good fun. I'm just trying to remember what one it is. Yeah, I am no Jedi. Really cool. You can add dice to the attack pool for using dodges. Oh no, you know, it's a character that wants dodges. She just works out really, really well, and she also gives you the ability to kind of give tokens out, which is on her free pip, which is really nice. So yeah, I would say put her in A, maybe a low A, but I always enjoy running
Yeah.
Ahsoka in a list. It's just less frequent now. Um, but yeah, looking at the next character, we've got Jin. I'm going to let you go first because I already know where I'd put Jin on this list.
So I used to not think much of Jin,
Hmm.
but I have recently got absolutely schooled in a game by Jin. And so
Hmm.
my opinion of her skewed the opposite way. I now think
Okay.
she's amazing.
Hmm.
She is so. It's like I was saying about Ahsoka. If you know how to use her,
Hmm.
she can run rings around your opponent, in my opinion.
Yep. Yep. I I'm not gonna lie, S tier for
Yeah.
me. I think she's one of the best characters that you can run. She's so cheap, comboed with what else she can bring for the list. So I'm trying to remember what the card is now. It is
She's so
I think it's
plug and
Inspiring
play.
Presence. Inspiring Presence gives you a range 4 courage free bubble in an army that has only one, technically two, courage free commanders, and that makes her 80 points. And she has Infiltrate, and she has Agile, and she has Independent Move 1. And the command cards aren't even that bad either. Like, you don't necessarily want to run them because usually you're running other characters that want to take precedence, but that just builds into the fact that you have the independent move and disengage. Like you say, she's like Ahsoka. She's not going to be putting out as much damage, but she can tie down the right units. And if your opponent can counterplay that quite easily by just dumping in a couple of units. But yeah, I think Jin absolutely top tier. Definitely a really good consideration for that operative slot, especially if you've got another operative that maybe you want to pad out activations for or anything like that. And again, Rogue One, great, love the film, so always good for me. But yeah, I think S tier. If in the right hands, definitely good.
100%.
Um, I'm looking at the next one. We've got Cassian Andor. Now this is tough because I'd say a good 90% of the time now you want to run him in the fleet squad, which removes the ability to take him as a character. And I think with the changes to the strike teams, he's become a little bit less potent. However, it'd be massively hypocritical for me to say I don't think he's good because I have run him so many times. People get sick of seeing him on the table. Um, One of the first units with marksman. His sniper's good, high velocity, PS1. Sure, it's only 2 dice. You can get a turn where you can fire twice. He used to be better when he had the standby, so he could go. He gained gunslinger, does 2 attacks, gains a standby. You equip him with Overwatch. Oh no, he's doing another 2 attacks afterwards. Then they changed it so the gunslinger doesn't trigger anymore, and it's progressively gotten worse and worse. I think he's still. I think he's still pretty good though. I think probably. I don't know. Maybe a high end B,
Tell you what,
not an A. I don't think he's A. I think he's just high B for me personally. But
would,
I'm here keen to hear what you think.
depending on your opinions of who he unlocks, do we take that unlock into consideration?
I think you run him as himself because we do have his counterpart in the second. So I think
Okay.
I personally would put him top B because I do still like him as a character. I think he's just annoying for your opponent to defeat, and he brings command cards in a faction or command cards that impact special forces and operatives and and commanders in a faction where that's what you want to run. So he's a fantastic character to add in, and then on top of that, he lets you have K2SO, who is again amazing. I love him so much. He's such a useful piece because of that incognito and the pistol and the teamwork with Cassian. You know, the number of turns where you've got that 5 dice pool, but you've got 4 aims to use, and he surges to crit, and he's got suppressive, and he's got Pierce 1. He has all of the stuff to make him fun to play at the points that he costs. Yes, you have to take Cassian as kind of a tax, but Cassian's not bad.
As
He's
far
just
as
not as
taxes
good as
go,
his unit. Sorry, go on. Sorry.
no, just as far as taxes go, it's one worth paying.
Yeah, yeah. It's just now that the unit upgrade is a thing, it's harder of a tax to take. But you're still not going to be super disappointed if you have to pay it.
And I
Because
think,
for less than 200 points, you're getting a really long range unit and you're getting an incognito unit, which against players that aren't familiar playing against incognito causes them more headaches than it does just facing him, because he's not that tough, but he's quite scary if you can't deal with him quickly. So I think for me, I'm going to put K2 in A tier.
I
Low
th-
A. I think he's not quite as good as Ahsoka or Sleepers, but he's a really fun piece to use, and he's got enough damage output to make him worthwhile once you take Jin's blaster. We've got Chewbacca next. Now, this is another character that I've run against one of our local guys recently, Josh. That change to Guardian is so rough. Like, especially on Chewie, where that is kind of his primary use. Um, I'm gonna be harsh. I'm gonna say D. I don't think he has any use at the moment because he doesn't throw enough dice. Sure, he's got impact and he's got Pierce, but the Guardian isn't usable now beyond the first shot. Um,
I think
he's too slow.
you're more likely to run him as the upgrade.
Yeah, yeah, the upgrade for the unit, absolutely.
Which, as a review of the unit card, when we're going, the only reason to bring this model is as an upgrade. It confirms his place in D for me.
Yeah, I like even the teamwork. There's nothing. He doesn't have any command cards that work with Han, other than I think it's Notorious Scoundrels, where you can cycle back in a card. And now it's only a five round game. You're not going to be doing that. Like, he almost just needs something just to make him a little bit more potent or a little bit more usable. Yeah, maybe like independent or something like that, just to give. But then again, he's doing is just being like a token battery for Han. And I think if you compare a 90-point Chewbacca with a 75-point Jin, that's all you need to say. Right? I would take any other operative over Chewie. I had to look at what his command or what his unit card did when I went to go and run him again because I was like, oh, I'll try him out. Yeah, easy D tier. What have we got next? We got some mercenaries. Right, Din. I'm going to let you go first, and I'm going to tell you where he belongs.
Okay, because I love Din. There was a
Yep.
time where Din was in every single rebel list I ran.
Mhm.
I used to run Din and Batch
Okay.
in,
Yep.
and I sometimes I really miss him.
Mhm.
I don't tend to run him anymore, and I think as much as I want to be like he's amazing, I feel like I can't be in one breath say he's amazing. Oh, I think he's one of the best units. I
Yeah.
haven't ran him in over a year.
Mhm.
But what? So I don't know where to put him, Jack. Where would you?
Okay. Okay. Right. I'm gonna say he's either A or S.
Uh,
Personally, I think he's one of the best characters for Rebels. Um, mainly once you add Grogu onto him,
yes.
because yes, he becomes like a 150 point monster basically. Um, you have the ability to heal, you have the ability to immobilize. Most of the time you'll do neither and you'll just take suppression, but um, the extra health, I really don't like the 5 health characters because you always feel like you're on the cusp. The second you take a wound, you're like, ooh, I don't really feel, I don't feel too great. You know,
Hmm.
it's you're a bit worried. Whereas if you can get 6 health on a unit, I would try and do it. And I think on Din, he just has everything. He's got access to the jetpack for speed 3 and jump. He has a spear, or you can take the Ambin rifle. I think the Ambin rifle is slightly worse, but it's usable for certain instances. Like you can immobilize stuff with it, which is really nice. Um, he's got versatile. You can stick UCAP on him if you want and take, get dodges, or you can not order him and get an aim and a dodge, or there's like, and all of his command cards are good. Even Whistling Birds, which is just a bit of fun, you throw it in as your 6th card that you don't have to run. But if you're up against the right list, let's say a droid army with loads of B1s, Din runs in there, tries to Whistling Bird them all. Sure, sometimes you might take 3 minis off the table, sometimes you'll take 12. He's just loads of fun, and you get bounty on top of that. So your opponent's characters don't want to be near him, and then he has a flamer as well. What isn't there to like? I think S tier, yeah. I think absolutely. He is expensive, and that's why I think Jin is a little bit better because I'm more likely
He's
to
up
run
there.
Jin. But if I want a bounty hunter unit with, or if I want to run a rebel unit with a real centerpiece, Din is always a real consideration. But mainly since the changes to hunted with Grogu, because then it's just a bounty hunter on bounty hunter fight, and Din is probably going to survive it. Um, you mentioned Bad Batch, and I have also done the same thing back when Comms Relay was a thing. Um, Din and Bad Batch were really good together. I think Bad Batch are great. Um, I probably run them less than Din. I think
If
they're great for the points cost and the range 1 scoring. There's been many discussions in the local community about, oh, is Crosshair better than Omega? Oh, I get Pierce 1, range 5. I'm like, yeah, but I'd rather be scoring this objective from behind this container, range 1 away. Especially with all of the original missions where you can, on some of them, you can score 2
mhm,
objectives with that range 1 bubble. They're solid.
I
Like
love him.
you, I would say A for them really. I don't know if I'd put them in S, and they're definitely not bad enough to be in B tier. I I'm imagining you're probably thinking the same sort of thing. Like they're not. You're not disappointed by taking them, are you? For 100 or 160
I
points now.
I think they're great.
Yeah.
Um, I they're a bit more fiddly, and they
Mhm.
have diminishing returns because
Mhm.
unlike Din, if you take 3 wounds, you're losing models.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just think if I could only have one of them, I'm picking Din. I love Batch,
Yeah.
especially in recon. Sneaking Batch
Oh.
into recon is insane. I love it.
Yeah.
But So I'm not willing to let them go lower than an A. We can.
No, no, definitely
I'll
not.
meet you at an A. I'll meet you at an A.
I think A is fair. I don't think they are quite at the level that Din is. And I think when you compare them to Sleeper Cell, I know that's a completely different slot, but you can almost buy two Sleeper Cell for one bad bat. Well, I think you can pretty much. Um, they are good. They are very good. You're never disappointed. But speaking of disappointment, ID11.
Get in the bin.
What a segue. Um, I want him to be so good. I want him to be so good. Again, this is going back to the 5 health character thing. He's got Gunslinger, and when you put the the bounty programming on him, he's all right. But he's 105 points base, and that's without programming. So then bounty programming takes him up to 110, and it does make him very good. Pierce 1 at range 4 on 3 dice at 2 different targets is really nice, and if you can get closer, even better. But he, I think,
My
would
biggest.
benefit from the sniper team keyword.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
that would fix him for the cost that he is, unless they drop him. If they drop him in points, I think he's okay. I just think he's way too expensive for what he does.
My biggest gripe with him is having to take anti-capture protocols.
Do you have to run it?
You have to run anti-capture
Oh
protocols.
man, yeah, you do, yeah.
And so
I
every
haven't
time
even-
I think, oh, maybe I'll sneak him in my list. And he goes, oh, and you will lose one of your 3 pips. I'm like, okay, out you go.
Yeah, that's rough.
I just can't.
I've forgotten about his command. You can tell it's been a while since I played
Yeah.
him. Yeah, that's awful. Yeah, all right, D tier. Ignore him. Get him out of there. Boba Fett. I have mixed feelings about Boba Fett.
Mm.
He's like 75% of the way to where I want him to be. The changes to standby are what really mess him up, because he's so limited now on what he can do. And he can't. I don't know. I just think that it's that independent standby that used to be really good. It still is powerful if you get it into the right unit, but we are starting to see more and more suppressive keyword becoming available. We played the other day and you were using Cody, and his command cards, some of them let you use suppressive regardless of what attack, whether it's a ranged or melee attack, and then all of a sudden that standby is gone. It's likely that you've already triggered the standby by that point, but because you can't attack another unit that isn't the one that's triggering the standby, I think that's the kicker. In that instance, Cody needs to put observation tokens on. Before, you would have been able to go, okay, you're going to observe me, I'm going to just swing at the unit I'm in melee with. Now it's like, well, you can do everything that you need to do, and then you can swing first and stop my standby. I mean, it's a very niche sort of use case, but you get what I mean. There's more overwhelm in the game now. There's sniper strike teams that have overwhelm built in. It's less good. His command cards are less impactful now that there's bigger squads on the table. So I think it's his free pip, rule of respect. That was really good back in the day when you had a gun line. It's still okay, but if you want more dice, just take a different squad. And he's how many points is he? He is
120.
120. He's all right. He's all right. I want to like him,
Tell you what, he's
but
not.
it's difficult.
He's not worth 5 more points than Ahsoka.
No. I think that's absolutely fair. I'm gonna say he's probably C tier.
I think you
I don't
can
think
make
he's as
him
bad as
work.
IG. Yeah, I think if you build a list around him, you get him into the right position, he's probably quite good. But I think it requires his command cards to do that. And that's where you might be fighting with not playing another character's command cards. So yeah, I think C is fair for him. I'm happy to be wrong though. Please, in the comments below.
Tell us why
let me
we're
know.
wrong. Give us a reason to run him. Now,
Um,
speaking of a unit that
ooh,
I
yeah.
do not need a reason to run, who I've run in more games than I've run Sabine or Clan Ren. I think that I've
hmm
run in more games than I've run Commandos. R2D2.
R2D2. Now you've run him recently
Yeah.
with great success. Um, I, I mean he's cheap. He is cheap, and I was considering running him recently as well. I, d- I, I don't think he's like blowing you away. But if
Hear
you
me
have a
out.
list where you have, oh, go on, go on.
I think we're both going to make the same point. If you've
Yeah,
got a list where you can fit him in, like I made a list
he's
that
all right.
works despite having R2.
Yeah.
I made a 730 point list.
hmm
Then I've slotted in R2 and his counterpart. Perfect. As an additional thing, just to potentially pad your operative slot as that secret mission, the
Yeah.
inconspicuous over incognito, paired with the ability to generate suppression on their own turn. And honestly, apart from immolation, his other two command cards are actually all right.
So
Um,
blast off where he gains disengage, increases speed by one and gains jump one,
Importantly as
and he gets
well,
a dodge and
gaining a dodge and a
suppression.
suppression. So it's
Yeah.
setting off his inconspicuous, gives him a bit of defensive tech, and then smokescreen. The unit he orders to gets a speed one move, which
Yeah.
I was playing supply run, use that throughout the smoke token to let my unit that had picked up the objective turn one move onto the POI. So at the start of their turn two activation, could then score. I I love No Time for Sorrows. Smokescreen just feels like another version of that to me. A worse
Yeah.
version,
It's
but
yeah. It's definitely
I like him.
if you're not running other characters, I think it's okay. I think again we have to kind of base this off of because we've got two listings here. We've got one for R2 and we've got one for C3PO.
Yeah.
Um, I think I think R2 is going to be a C tier for me.
Yeah.
He's good, but you got to consider like he's 55 points. Jin is 20 points more. Um, K2 is 15 points more. I know there's like tax for that, but if you have 55 points left in a list, my first thought is not to run R2D2. I think there's certain skew lists where he works, and I think as well, like if you're the right player, you can use the secret mission to get extra VP, and that's really good. But I don't think just purely basing it off of here's a 55 point unit, would I run it? Probably not. But I think he has value in secret mission list and in vehicle heavy lists as well.
Hear me out
That
as
repair
well.
2 capacity 2 is really good.
He can repair himself as well.
That is a point, yeah. Yeah, so you can keep him like, but then 4 health. I mean, again, we're going to talk about the C3PO
This is
version
it.
in a second. 4 health R2 is a little too much risk for me.
I think he's a C tier on his own, and I'm happy
On
with
his
that.
own, yeah, on his own. With C3PO,
Now,
I'm going to say B tier. I still don't think he's A tier. I don't think he's S tier. Definitely not. But I think it increases his viability a little bit more. You get those extra keywords. Iconic Geo on the table as well. You know, you got the cool points there. But I think yeah, C3PO kind of bumps them up a little bit. Again, though, you are getting close to that realm of 5 points more for Jin. Like it is a tough spot to be in. Um, but I do think that I think they're a fun combo, and I think like you said, once you have C3PO there, you can repair more efficiently. You're more likely to be alive to repair. Um,
C3PO adding 2 wounds
that's the
just
thing,
means
yeah.
that you. Oh, I'm taking 2 wounds, lose 3PO. Next
Yeah,
turn, just bring him back.
yeah, yeah. I mean, you can spread it across, can't you?
Yeah.
Um, what other agent do we have? We've got the Rebel agent, haven't we?
hmm
That Rebel agent. Um, I reckon A.
This is it. I
There's
think.
there's loads of different builds, but I think the more I've seen the agent on the table, the better I think that agent is.
Yeah.
Depending on what you want to achieve with it, I've seen prepared positions with Cassian. I've seen turn one battlefield reconnaissance to get an automatic pass token. Um, it makes the bringing the agent makes recon intel redundant if on the right unit. It makes um, it makes that turn one play better depending on what you're wanting to run, because you can guarantee a delay, and even if you get an advanced intel, you don't have to play it turn one. You can play it later on in the game, or if you're running no time to lose, you can play it later on in the game and get more tokens. I think it's just solid. 5 health. You know, I could wish it was 6, but I think 5's perfectly valid, and you can kit them out in a number of different ways. You know, the long range gun is okay. The blaster pistol is probably the peak. But also the vibro axe is not a bad shout for the same, you know, for 8 points. It's just dirt cheap, and it brings a lot to the table. I don't know. Have you got any builds in mind that really stand out, or are you
I mean, for me,
similar?
it's reluctant hero, heavy blaster pistol, thermo detonator. Just
Yep.
having that
Get that relentless, the
infiltrate, double
infiltrate. Yeah.
move.
Run up.
Just,
Yeah. I've
I
seen
just
people
think
playing
it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, and I've seen the opposite build, which is the prepared positions with giving the Cassian fleet squad prepared, and you're just like, well, I'm already on the table, I'm already halfway, you know, up towards you. Solid. Um, Speaking of another solid operative, however quite pricey, Operative Luke. Now, I don't know where I'd put him. He is expensive. He does have all the keywords that you'd want, but is he? I don't think he's S tier. I think we've all anyone that's run Operative Luke knows what his lightsaber can and often cannot do, which is hit, despite him having all the keywords under the sun that he needs. Disengage is really powerful. Master of the Force, again, really nice. His lightsaber stat line is nice. You can put tenacity on him to make it 8 dice. Saber throw is solid on him. He has deflect, he has charge, he has actually, tell you what, I'm going to put him S tier. I've just remembered his command cards. I think I am a Jedi. One of the most satisfying cards to play, and the one that will make you the most enemies in the game. I think he is at the bottom end of S tier because his dice pool is flaky sometimes, but his command cards are so good, so good. So I think S is fair for him. I don't
He,
know. Do you disagree? You can move
no,
if
I mean,
you
he's a
feel.
unit that I never myself think to run.
Hmm.
But
Why is
every
that? Is that because he's just so expensive, or?
I I have a real thing with saber users. I think
Okay,
all
fair
saber
enough.
users are so expensive, so swingy
Yeah.
that, and I think Op Luke is a great example of that. Like, he is
Hmm.
expensive, he is swingy. When he does nothing, you feel it.
Yeah, yeah,
But
that's fair.
I also
He is.
have faced against you using him, and every time I've gone, oh, why? So
he is definitely a powerhouse. I think if he didn't have I'm a Jedi,
yeah,
I definitely think he would be like low A. just because he can bring the command card that gives you so much guarantee and so much power,
Just shuts
he's
it
worth
down.
it. It does. It's just, here's a character or here's a squad that you don't want to attack. Okay, don't worry about it. Operative Luke can't attack for a turn. Oh no, he can still deflect. He's still got 7 health. He's still courage 4. He just does not care. Um, you typically run burst of speed on him. He is a candidate for force push because he does has disengage as well. So he's basically just like Jin, but costs more than twice as much, but does more. And I think that's probably the best way to sum him up. So he's one of those kind of janky rebel units that you're going to have a lot of fun playing, but he's never going to be consistent, or as consistent as perhaps Commander Luke, who, right, I think Commander Luke is the potentially the best commander for rebels because of the courage 3 and the fact that his pistol is good and the fact that his saber is okay and he has everything that you want on a character for a points cost that isn't going to break the bank. Like, he comes out cheaper than Mando, but he's just reliable and he gets most of the cards that Operative Luke has, but on a more jack of all trades platform. He still wants to hold his own, but he can do stuff for the rest of the army. And I think that's probably, I don't know, would I put him in S tier? I've put Operative Luke in S tier.
So here's my thinking.
What are you thinking?
I
Yeah.
don't like to run saber users. There are
Yep.
two in this game. This whole game
Yep.
that I can think of I would run
Mhm.
is Vader, Commander Vader,
Yep.
and it is Commander Luke.
Yep.
I would take both of those before I'm running Anakin in my Gar or Obi-Wan in my
Mhm.
Gar, which is wild, I know, but
Mhm.
I before I'm taking Dooku or Grievous, and I just think I have to be an advocate for S tier because he is one of the two
I'm on
saber
board.
users that has won me
Yeah.
over.
That's enough for me. I think. Yeah. I think he's definitely better than Opera Luke. He just brings so much to the list that you don't get anywhere else, other than the Build-A-Bear officer. But he has enough to make him really good. The block is fantastic. He's just really useful, and he doesn't cost too much. The other version of Luke, though, the one on the Torn, let me just get his stats up because he's similarly costed, and obviously we're seeing a lot of play of him at the moment. Um, I think he's A tier. If we're putting the on foot one as S, I think Luke on a Torn is A tier. I don't think he's bad at all. He just doesn't have that same reliability, despite him having RAM. His pistol's boring. When you compare it to the one that on foot Luke has, where it has PS1, why you never fire it? You never fire it. You just run saber throw. You get the RAM. Unless they change how RAM works, I don't think you ever fire that blaster pistol. Unless there's a unit you have to do 4 wounds to, and then you just need to pray. Um, but he has some nice stuff. The spotter one, take cover one, I was very dubious about at the start, but actually it's really fun to use because you can, take an aim on him and put a dodge on another unit that's being fired at, or whatever. He's got immune pierce. He's got inspire 2, which is a consistent thing across the variants of Luke, apart from the operative one. Um, yeah, he's kind of good. He's just good. He's good. You don't disappointed by running him, but you do. When I was building my list for the tournament, I was genuinely weighing up: do I run that or do I run the courage free on foot version? And it came down to just how quick Luke on a Torn can move. So I think that's fair. Um, However, the other miniature that comes in his box, Han Solo. Wow.
Yeah,
Uh, do we need to really go into this? I mean, it's so fun. He's so cheap for what he does. Your opponent has to deal with him, and if they don't deal with him, they have a headache on their hands. And don't get me wrong, like you can kill him off, you can suppress him into the ground, and he has some tools to deal with that. But for 90 points to gain access to implacable, not implacable. What's this?
Unstoppable.
What's the unstoppable? That's the one. To gain access to unstoppable is it's a no-brainer, I think. And he's got a potent dice pool, great keywords. Uncanny luck free is always fun.
Well, I mean, to go back to a metric we've used earlier, for 15 points more than Jin, because it's in that operative slot.
Yeah.
I would pay 15 points to upgrade Jin to this.
Yeah, he fills a slightly different role, but I mean this is a candidate where you run both. You run Jin, you run Han. You're paying 200 points or less for 2 units that your opponent has to deal with, and both are doing great things for your list. I absolutely think he's S tier. I think that's fair. Yeah, I think Jin slightly ekes it out over him, because everybody's trying to focus on dealing with him at the moment. So I think we're slowly starting to see more and more people going, okay, right, there's operative Han. We know what I'm going to do. I think he's just so solid, just so solid. Han on foot. Again, this is another unit that I've played against you only a few days ago. I was very lucky with him in the game.
Yes.
And to be fair, that could happen on any variant of him. However,
I just think comparing him to taking him on a Taunt, I can't understand why you would.
Yeah, it would only be if you have no other operative slot available, or you desperately want to get a commander and have access to Han's command cards. Because Sorry About the Mess is really good. Like, regardless of which version you're running. Like, if you need to go first, you can do it. Also, Change of Plans, I think, is an incredibly powerful command card. Especially if your opponent isn't paying attention, or it has really, telegraphed their next play. I'm looking at Wheelbike Greg. Oh no, I wonder what he's going to do next turn. Does it rhyme with training your Jedi arts? I think he's good. His command cards are good. I think his gun is okay.
If it was 3, I mean, when you think that Layers is 3.
Layers is free at range 3, but has no Pierce.
No.
He has Pierce 2 and Gunslinger. And I kind of get why he doesn't have anything that makes him really good against vehicles or anything like that, but I don't know. I think as he is, I would say B. I don't think I'd go lower than that, because I think he's fair. Like, he's okay. He's only 100 points. He has steady and gunslinger and uncanny luck free and low profile. He has all the stuff he needs to make him resilient enough for your opponent to kill him fairly easily if they want to. And he can do damage if you put him into the right target. But there will be times where you're like, oh great, I can fire 2 dice and I can definitely kill 2 guys out of an 8-man unit. And that will be game. So I think B tier is fair for him. I think, unless you've got any kind of thoughts otherwise, I think we leave him there.
I mean, I've said a lot of bad things about a lot of bad characters in this game so far. You might be thinking, Jack, does Patry like any characters in Rebels?
Well, I am thinking, you play Rebels and then say you don't like running characters.
Well, there's one character.
Thinking, are you playing the right game?
There's one character I love to run. She is in, I think, but I actually can't think of a list I've played where she's not in there.
Mhm.
And that
Mhm.
is Leia.
Leia. Yeah. Okay. Okay.
I know that we have some thoughts on whether she should be Bravery 3, but
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think the Exemplar, the Inspire, Sharpshooter 2 on a
Mhm.
unit that has an orbital bombardment card. I think it's
Mhm.
really fun. I just I honestly think she's one of the most points efficient units we have access to.
Okay.
And
Okay.
if you want to run a mechanized rebels army,
Yeah.
having access to things like someone has to save our skin. So you go with Leia, generate the tokens, then go with your tank piece,
Mhm.
use the exemplar tokens to benefit the shooting that's then coming out. I just think there's nothing about her other than maybe Bravery 3 that I feel like she's lacking.
I think that's fair. I think that's fair. I think you do run her a lot if you're looking for a cheap commander
Hmm.
and you want a little bit of everything. She is solid. You know, the sharpshooter 2 on the range 3 gun now is really nice. It doesn't have any keywords on the weapon, so it's kind of like a last ditch effort to use the weapon, but it's still probably going to hit, which is nice. And they are going to have to save against it. Um, you do, she's got take cover 2, so you do slap on portable scanners to make it take cover 3. You probably run vigilance on her, but you don't have to. Um, I think it's that courage 2 that really brings it back to
It's what
reality a
keeps her
bit.
out of S
In the
tier.
Yeah, and I think I know we've discussed this. Like, I think the only way they could do it is with a unique upgrade that would, you know, like we were saying, like Princess of Alderaan or something, gives her some sort of bounty token for your opponent to take, but gives her courage 3. And it would have to cost something that isn't just an auto take, because we do have access to courage 3 on other commanders. Obviously, Luke's really good, and we do have the rebel officer as well, who can be courage 3, and is still good for a similar points cost, but doesn't do everything that Leia does. So I don't know. Where are you thinking about putting her?
I want to put her right here.
Top of A. Okay. I
And
think
I feel like I never leave home
I'm not going to
without her.
disagree. Yeah.
But I know that she's flawed. So
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
heart wants to put her in S. My brain knows that she's
yeah.
not
I
there.
think you're right. I think A tier is fair. I think S would be a bit too much. She's not that good. Like we talked about. You mentioned coordinated bombardment. It's good, but it's not that good. Like, it's useful. It's really good if your opponent's been really greedy and attacked with 3 strike teams. But it's, it's very situational, and it can only do 2 damage. But it'll probably likely do 2 damage. Who have we got next? We've got Lando Calrissian. All right, please give me your thoughts first.
So maybe I'm an idiot,
Right.
but I can't work him out. There's
Okay.
so much going on with him that
Mhm.
I just always feel like I'm not getting the most out of him.
Mhm.
Like I feel like he's got such a high ceiling, but quite a high floor. There's almost that. I feel like if I played him more, I could come to get good at him, and then he would do his work. But
Yeah.
I've not seen him either on my side of the board or my opponent's side of the board be used to what I think is his full potential.
Okay. Okay. I am gonna say I think he is A tier, and I think in the same way that you think Leia's really good,
Yeah.
I think that Lando is really good. Um, the stuff that he brings your list, the potential that he has is so nice. Um, I've run lists where it's Lando, Cassian, K2. You've got double infiltrate incognito by divulging. Um, he he just feels like so much fun to play because in the same way that he is a gambling man and he wants to go against the odds and stuff. You what's his command card? It is
The Corellian
lock this
Spike?
away. Yes, the Corellian Spike. So you divulge that for turn one. You gain the infiltrate and incognito, but then you can still use it as a one pip later on in the game and potentially immobilize someone. But if he crits, he immobilizes himself. Like it's so much fun as it just fits the theme of him so well. And then on top of that, Idiot's Array is nice. It's less good, but it's still nice to have. I probably don't play it as much. But Ace Up His Sleeve is really nice as well. Being able to see what your opponent's playing and then go, nah, actually, Ace Up My Sleeve. I'm gonna rig the cards. I'm gonna go first, and I'm gonna go with Lando and something else. I think he is an A tier unit. He's expensive for what he is in comparison to the other kind of 6 health white save surging units, and he's not going to bring everything. He's not like just a staple in a list, but you bring him like a fine wine. Like in the right place, he is so good. And one step ahead is such a cool command card, or keyword even, that it works with almost anything. He's just great, I think. Um, less less as good, but still as important. We've got the Rebel Officer. Now, I don't know if I like this as much as the Agent. I'm kind of tempted to say B. In
I
the
think
same
that
sort of
he's
boat
an
as
easy
Ham.
B.
Yeah. He has most of the stuff that the operative version can have. I'm just trying to see what the ability is. Frontline Commander is the only other kind of discipline or doctrine that they can take. And it's nice. You give friendly units Dauntless. Cool. And he has Tactical 1, Indomitable. So it's basically all about just going, okay, I'm going to activate and use both my abilities. The Spur's really nice. Like really nice to have a really cheap speed 3 unit. But I don't know. By the time you've bought this Rebel Officer, you could buy Jin,
Yeah.
you could buy Leia, you could buy a commander that you probably want to use a bit more. So it's a valid option, but I think B is fair, right?
I think so. I mean, speaking of things I wouldn't buy, my list.
Wicket.
Wicket.
Yeah. Um. Yeah, I suppose. I mean, I see a world where he's maybe a low C. Again,
Are
this is
you are
I've
you
not
ever
played him
taking
that
him?
much. Well,
Realistically.
I don't have any Ewoks though. I just have Wicket and Logray in the pack. If I had a squad of Ewoks, maybe. But nah, you're probably right. Just put him in
You
D.
get your most out of him by taking 2 squads of Ewoks, and at that point,
Yeah,
why
you
aren't we just
might
playing
you
Pride
might
Tree?
move down Bright Tree. Yeah, no, that's absolutely fair.
I think he's great in Pride Tree. He's an auto take.
Well,
But
yeah,
but
yeah,
there's
absolutely.
you in a normal rebel list. If I
Yeah,
ever see
yeah.
anyone running him, I'm gonna ask them why.
How many points is he? 64. 64 points.
Don't get me wrong, he's
Yeah,
got rules, he's got things there, but the fact that
yeah. But
scouting
if you're
party
running
only
normal,
works on the Ewoks.
yeah, yeah. That's the kind of thing though, is like if you are running, if there's a world where you do desperately want to run a couple of Ewok squads, then maybe
Yes.
he's worth it. So I think we keep him in D, but appreciate the fact that he could be. He's much better when you're running him in a combination with something else. We are down to the last 6 units here. Oh, right. I see you hovering over 1.4 FD cannons. So for some context, a week ago we went to a tournament. I ran Echo-based defenders. I ran 4 of these things, and they are fun, and they look awesome on the table.
Hmm.
I think they're good. Don't get me wrong, right? I'm going to say they're good. Can you please put them at the top of D? Because I think they are, of all of the bad units, they are one of the coolest. But stationary sucks
Yeah.
so bad. If they had anything else that gave them a longer or a further objective scoring range, so you could set them up and it's like range 1 or
Yeah.
something like that, they would absolutely be better. But the fact that there's only certain missions where they can even contest your home objective, they're cool. With barrage generators, they're fun, but they're just not. If you're running only a couple of them, they're probably okay. If you're running loads of them, they're not great. But stationary, I think we just easy D. We've got Tauntaun Riders. Have you used these recently?
Not recently. And do you know what? I really
Okay.
thought that I would with the coming of Han and Luke.
Yep.
I think they're fine still.
Yeah, I think they are
I think
probably.
you're not punished for bringing them, but there's not much of an
No.
incentive.
I mean, they're okay. I think if you bring them en masse, they're probably a bit annoying, a little bit like Dewbacks, where if you're running against 3 of them, they're quite tough to defeat.
Yeah.
And they can bring stuff that's quite powerful. But they are. How many points are they at the moment? They are
So they're
95
95.
points still.
Trouble is, they're in a slot which contains another unit that I almost always want to take 3 of.
Yeah. Maybe there's an Echo base
Yes.
list where you want to run them and then play these hold the line or hold at all costs,
Yeah.
where you get standbys on support units, and that might be a world where they're pretty good.
Don't get me wrong, I'm going to
like,
still run them. I can't wait to run a big old list of loads of taunts. But they
I'm
don't.
going to say top of C.
Yeah.
Do you think that's kind of like you still want to run them, like you say, but they're not like.
Yeah, they're like, for me, I think top of C makes a lot of sense because they're like R2D2.
Yeah.
I think
in the
if
right list, they're really good.
Yeah.
And especially with Luke's new on patrol card, where every time an enemy ends an activation within 2 of a creature trooper, it gains a dodge. That's really cool. I like it a lot. So I think if you pair the combo together, there's a list where it works, but you don't just throw it into a list, do you? Unlike an ATRT,
Love an ATRT.
You just throw it into any list and it's good. It's got enough health, it's got enough armor, it's got the scout now.
It's got no bad guns.
No bad guns?
I think there's a world where. Oh yeah, sorry. No bad guns that I think about.
Not that you put on it. Yeah,
no.
Yeah.
I think there's a world where you take a flamer. A couple of las is always good.
Yep.
I personally am in love with the rotary blaster.
Yeah, you've convinced me recently on that one.
It's currently run triple rotary blaster, surging to crit exactly. It's wonderful. I want to do this.
A tier. Yep. 100%.
I don't think they've got the ceiling that Lando has, but my God. They're an auto take from me, and I will die on that hill.
That's absolutely fair. I think that is a very solid unit. What's this next one? AA5. Ooh, okay. AA5. It's gotten better since it's had uh, the the bigger cannon, reduced in points. It is a great unit. It's a great roadblock. It has lots of functionality. You can run door gunners now, which is really cool. It's fairly cheap for what it does, and you can put a non big squad of Cassian fleets inside, or you can run Wookiees inside and get it up the table. Sleeper cell, whatever you want to put in that bus, you can do.
For me, this is going to be weird, but where it shines for me the most is in secondaries. I think it's an
Yeah,
amazing target for recon mission because
I hear that.
just drive at the board. Everything is within range too.
Yeah.
And also, a lot of the missions now require you to take an action on the point. So
Yeah,
being able to put feels like a waste of a transport. But putting a rebel squad in it, driving up, because you're using it as maybe a gunboat and as a road blocker, but having a rebel squad in it to jump out next to an objective, so you can then use the action and then move them to safety,
yeah.
is being able to
No, I hear that.
do that is quite, for me, it's been quite impactful. Do I think it's the best unit in the game? Absolutely not.
No.
But you can build
it's a solid
around
unit.
it, and it brings a lot.
Yeah. If you can put a unit inside and give it a function, like you say, you either build it as a gunboat, you can put the door gunners on, you put the turret on, you can put the frenzied gunner on it, you can put backweld medic on it. Unorthodox tactician you don't really see anymore because it used to be amazing S tier, bonkers broken when it came out, and now it's okay. But you probably want to go with something else first, so it makes it a really bad card to take. I'm gonna say high B,
Do you know what? I'll take
low
it.
A.
I'll take it.
Either or really. I mean, I think
I was gonna
it's up
fight
there.
you to let me put it in C, so I will take a B
Oh
happily.
no, I think it's a good unit. I think it's perfectly fine. Um, oh, land speeder, arguably the best rebel vehicle
Yes.
since the changes to the weapons on it. Is it S tier or is it A tier?
I think we have to respect. Do we? I was going to say we have to respect the time it spent being spammed. But
It's still spam though. Like it's still good. Like that's the thing. Even with the changes, I still see people running it with the astromech. I still see people running it without the astromech. Like it's still a great unit. It's cheaper than a T-47 with its weapons. And I think that's probably why I would put it in S tier for me personally, because it's like it has ion, it has range 4 weapons, it has cover, it has a decent
yeah,
amount of health. You can kit it out the way you want to. You can still run astromech if you want to as well. So that double attack on the turn one, turn whatever, is really nice. I think it is bottom of S tier, but I don't know. When you compare it to the other units in that slot, it is like it's really powerful.
so our last
Do you
unit
want to?
is the air
Yeah.
speeder. I'm happy with it in S. But what about the land
Okay.
speeder? The air speeder.
Air speeder. Okay. Do you want to say your thoughts on this first?
Do you know what? Up until very recently, I did not own one, and as of yet, I've yet to play using it. And I've only played one game against it. That was against you, and I thought they were fine.
I think that's fair. I think that's very
I think
fair.
they were good,
Yeah.
but I was like, I want some of these. I own them now. I've played many games with Rebels since then. I'm still taking a land speeder and a bus. I think
Yeah, I
in
think
Echo Base is where they shine.
yeah, Echo Base is definitely where they shine. I think in regular list as well, they're okay.
Hmm.
I think it's just the cost of them in comparison to the biggest competitor, which is the land speeder.
Yeah.
The fact that the land speeder is range 4 instead of range 3, like the air speeder hits hard when it wants to hit. Like if you want to attack a vehicle, surge into crit, impact free, and you have the tow cable on the back for free,
Hmm.
which is an annoyance. Typically, it always hits and does something, but it's just annoying to use. It doesn't blow you away with what it does in comparison to the land speeder. I see you hovering over B. I think that's perfectly fair. I think if it was cheaper, it would be an A tier
Yeah.
because it is annoying to face it because it is immune melee, immune blast, immune range 1. Again, with all the rebel vehicles, you can kind of kit them out as you want. So you can give it cover 2 if you want to. You can make it slower. I don't know, can you make it slower? I don't know if you can take Rider Rosardi on it, but you can take like Wedge and Pivot for free.
You can take Rider.
You can. Yeah, you can. Yeah, because it's a repulsive vehicle, isn't it? Yeah. So yeah, you can take that. You can take Shriv, who's good on most vehicles, but he's kind of expensive for what he does. But you can give it Sharpshooter if you want to. You can give it cover, that sort of thing. You can build it out. I think you just run it naked and just rely on that 1 in 4 chance of getting a crit.
Yeah.
But it's an alright unit. It's solid. But yeah, I think is that every unit
That is
that we've gone
every
through?
unit that you can take in a normal Rebels list.
Ooh, apart from
Apart from the Shadow Collective.
But if you're taking them, yeah,
Yeah.
like you're doing it for a reason. And fair play to you. But no, cool. Okay, I think I'm pretty happy with that list. I think we've kind of covered everything as I would expect. It looks like I expected it kind of 2 at the start, looking at some of the names. Although there are some things in there that are a bit higher, and some that are a bit lower, to be honest. But yeah, I
What's
suppose
your one that's standing out as in the wrong place?
in the wrong place. Ooh,
And maybe
I
asking.
didn't expect the Tawns. I didn't expect the Tawns to drop down into C, but actually seeing everything else that's around that mark and what we've put in B,
Yeah.
I can kind of see it. You know what I mean? Like they're not bad. They're just expensive.
Yeah.
If they were like 85 points, might be a little bit more palatable. But 95 is like, ooh, that's a little too expensive for me. I don't know. Are there any there that you're like, on reflection, you're like, oh, actually, I wouldn't put that there.
Do you know what? I understand why they're here, but because they're nowhere near as good as these. But for me,
What, the Rebel Troopers?
if you asked me what my favourite Rebel unit was, I think I might say Rebel Troopers.
Okay.
But
Okay.
but I can't in good faith try and argue that a single unit of Rebel Troopers is a better pick than Bad Batch, or than Leia, or Cass Fleets.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
they have done their duty and scored the highest core slot. I'll let them rest where they deserve.
That's fair. That's fair. I think a high B is very fair for them. They do exactly what they say on the tin. They are just there to fill a core slot and try their best to survive, and I think they do a good job of that. So.
Perfect.
Cool.
Right, well, there we go. The definitive and correct ranking of every Rebel unit in the game. I'm sure that everyone will agree with us. There'll be no differing opinions. But if there are, by any chance, please do give us a comment down below. Let us know where we were wrong, whether we ranked anything too high, anything too low. And as well, let us know what faction you want to see us give our opinions on next. It's been great to have the chat, Jack.
Yeah, no, thank you.
Mm,
It was good fun.
Perfect, and we'll see you in the next one.
This one. Cheers.